Hello, guys, and I think it was 2 days ago that this Nintendo Direct released, and yesterday I was totally unaware of this, but now that I found out, and I'm gonna do a video on just that. So today, this is going to be my ultimate analysis of all 3 trailers and anything Age of Imprisonment. So let's get started with these 3 trailers. Let's start with the original. Okay. We have the murals we see in Tears of the Kingdom, the text, the Sacred Stones, Hyrule, the clouds, the platform, which I'm still wondering what this platform is and what it's made of, but don't think a lot of people care about that, but whatever.
When the Zonai, who descended from the heavens, joined hands.
Then we can see some landmarks, which I don't know what these landmarks would be in Zelda. If anyone can tell me in the comments below, please do. Just these 2 locations right here. And then we clearly see the Hylians. But then these all these ones are holding hands, but these ones are just looks like that this platform's gonna go down and then they're just gonna hold it, which seems like their hands would just get crushed, but whatever.
The Hylians,
that
who
doesn't
dwelled on the
seem safe,
surface.
but whatever. Here's another one of the murals, and I'm just gonna move. Sorry that was in the video, but it should be fine. Okay, so this is the mural that we see more Zonai text, we see Raru, we see Sonia, and this is when Raru gives Sonia a sacred stone, and we see his sacred stone too, and then they get
great
married.
and prosperous kingdom.
Then this is another mural where Ganondorf takes Sonia's secret stone and kills her, but my question is, how did Sonia die exactly? Because all I saw was Sonia just take a bop to the back and died, which doesn't seem like that would happen in real life. Maybe that would get explained more in Age of Imprisonment, but the way she died in the memories just seems confusing, that she just died by getting bopped in the back. But yeah, we have that happen.
But in time,
then the sacred stone turns red because it's gloom, transforming him to the Demon King.
A war was fought to vanquish this evil, one which future generations would call.
We can see Zelda here, holding her sacred stone. We can grass probably in the Great Plateau, and we can see her.
One which future generations.
Yeah, we can see some Great Plateau stuff. I don't know what this is in the background. Is that the Temple of Time, or is that just a building? I don't know, but we have that there, and then we have whatever this is here.
Would call.
And then we definitely see how this is the Great Plateau, but then we can see all this vibrant life, even some patches of like stones path here, and then Sonia, Raru, and then these Zonai architecture. Then this is a recreation of a memory, because if you play Tears of the Kingdom, you would know that this is a memory, and one of the first,
Perhaps
actually.
you truly have traveled.
Then we can see gameplay, I think, and we can just see how beautiful it is. And also, we can see that we have the Zonai architecture, we can see Rarusonia, and just, I think that over there is the highest point of the Great Plateau.
Back
And then
in
we
time.
can see all them walking. Looks like such a clean game. The original Hyrule Castle, I don't know what that is in the sky. Or, I don't know if that's in the sky, but like, whatever that is up there, it just seems like a big mound. But then we have this right here, which is the original Hyrule Castle. And the original Hyrule Castle shape was actually shown in the Tears of the Kingdom shrines, because after you get the white blessing and the shrine closes, it becomes this shape with this here, that there, and the 4 pillars surrounding it are supposed to be these. So that's how the shape is. But we can see all the details there with the trees and everything. And very beautiful castle. And it looks like they have a wooden door. The story leading up to the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This will be questioned in later the video, but
Must mean
let's
this
just
really
keep
is the
watching.
past.
So, this is Ryu's weapon, it looks like, and he just has a massive regular Zonai spear infused with the power of flight, and it looks amazing. And then we can see that this is the time of the Demon King's army with the red sky, fire, and then we can tell with all the enemies running towards. And then we can see the attacks. He has one attack where he just swipes, and then there's a double slash. Then he has one where he goes a slash to the side, and then comes down with a big explosion. And then this is when we see him use his Zonai powers that we use in Tears of the Kingdom. Right now he's using Ultra Hand to spin it like crazy, and it looks very good and clean. Then we see Ganondorf. We're going to see him again later. Don't know what part of the game this is, but yeah. Some people wonder that if he is a playable character, but later in the video we'll be discussing that more. But the real answer is probably not, because it's already coming out, and we don't see Ganon at all in the actual banner or anything, so I don't think he's going to be a playable character. He's just going to be the main enemy, because it's the Imprisoning War. Then we can see Minoru holding her Zonai wand, I guess. Don't know what you would call this, but then she's fighting a Frox with a wheel, and then she's just dodging. Then she takes her spirit to the construct. Now, I like the concept of the Sage's spirit, but I think it's kind of also bad in a way, because since she is leaving her soul and putting it in the construct, wouldn't that mean there's no soul in her real body, and it would just fall to the ground because of gravity, and then just be prone to attacks from the Frox or other enemies and deaths? So that means she's basically leaving her body unguarded just to put it in the construct to fight. But whatever. Yeah, we can see that she's putting her soul in the construct, and it's not the Tears of the Kingdom construct we know. It is in fact the Sea's construct, because we can see the extra arms and all the extra little details that makes it be beautiful. little Age of Imprisonment / Siege contract that we know, and then we can see multiple weapons fused to it. Like, look at all that. That's too many rockets. Too many. But you can just see all the glue that's fused and everything, all the little details. And then you can see the Fox just looking like he's literally has no care in the world and is about to die. He's just a zesty Fox. And then he's just getting blasted by cannons and rockets. Then Raru with his sacred stone clenching his hand as gloom spreads. And then this is Zelda, I think, in the Great Plateau, because we can see the architecture. And we can see in trailer 1 that her weapon is just a beam of light. But then in trailer 3 / later in the video, her weapon gets way more clear. But right now it's just a strand of light. No one knows why, but she hits the Lionel really fast, but then when she rewinds it, it's kind of slow, and I'm wondering why hasn't the Lionel hit at all, because it literally had that whole time. Watch. When it rewinds, it had that full-on 1-2 second to hit, so I don't know why it didn't. And also, it looks like the Lionel has a new weapon, because I don't think we haven't seen the sword before. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't think we've seen the sword before. We've definitely seen the shield before. Don't know about the sword. But, yeah. So... sorry for that audio interrupt, because my headphones accidentally unplugged, but yeah. So, next trailer. We can also just talk about the thumbnail too, because as we can see here in this thumbnail, we can see them two doing a team attack. I forgot what it's actually called. We can see it, find the actual name in the third trailer, but they're doing that attack with their light abilities, and that's gonna be cool. This one here, it looks like Raru is doing something. Don't know what, but then looks meme facing to Sonya and like W2EF to her until he realizes that she is holding his weapon and kind of grabs it with Sonya together, and probably at the Great Plateau with the architecture. Now let's watch. Right off the bat, we can see a better image of the original Hyrule Castle. We can see some fields and just how big it is, but compared to the Hyrule Castle we know today, it's not that big, but it's sure beautiful. Like, we can see, I don't know what that's gonna be. I guess it's a separate part to the castle. Don't know what it's gonna do. But you can see that this is the lake, and from the Great Plateau. Hey guys, I just realized that the first part of the video had really bad audio. So, I don't know if I can redo it, but I can give you guys a summary of the first one. And I do humbly apologize for that bad audio. I'm sorry. I was testing something out, and it failed miserably, so I will not do it again. So let me just oops. Don't mind till I spill. Okay. So the trailer for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment begins with Princess Zelda narrating narrating the distant past of Hyrule and the ancient imprisoning war. It showcases the massive hack and slash battles featuring Zelda, King Raru, and the other Hylian heroes fighting swarms of Ganon's forces. The video also highlights large-scale team attacks, new gameplay using Zonai devices, and a mysterious final shot of a humanoid construct activating in the cavern, hinting at story developments connected to the events of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Don't know what it means by that. I said first one. That was the second one. And wasn't a cavern, I don't think. And what do you mean Tears of the Kingdom at all? Like, boy, we haven't seen a humanoid construct in Tears of the Kingdom at all, so key elements shown in the trailer. Setting. The game is set up during the Imprisoning War, a fundamental conflict in Hyrule's ancient past, which precedes the events of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Characters. Princess Zelda and King Raru are shown activity battling against hordes of enemies, with their powers and teamwork on display. Other familiar faces and ancient sages are also featured. Gameplay. Players engage in large-scale battles fighting hundreds of enemies in wave-based combat, a hallmark of the Hyrule Warriors series. New mechanics. The trailer teases the use of Zonai devices in combat and introduces partner-based mechanics with synchronized special moves between the two characters. Intriguing reveal. The trailer concludes with a mysterious humanoid construct activating within a shadowy cavern, accompanied by Fi's theme, suggesting a significant story element. Trailer's narrative. The trailer opens with Princess Zelda recounting the history of the Hylians and Zonai, the resulting era of peace, and the emergence of a terrible evil that led to the Imprisoning War. The narrative shifts to dramatic battle scenes, emphasizing the scale of the conflict and the player's roles in fighting Ganon's army to protect Hyrule's future. Okay. Do again humbly apologize for the beginning of the video and that having terrible audio, but I'm gonna try and continue with that summary being said, and hopefully you can somewhat hear that. So let's go right in. I already said stuff about this and all that. There's just a garden and everything. We can see windows, we can see Sonia and Zelda walking. We can see that this is probably somewhere at the castle. We can see the Zonai architecture. We can see them now arrived here. Raru is, I don't know if he made it, but we at least know that he is giving the Sage of Fire his mask that he dons. We can see that this is definitely somewhere within the castle. Then we can somewhere in the castle or somewhere in the Great Plateau. Then we can see Sonia and Rairu doing the exact same movement and same thing that they're doing in the shrine, because their shrine statues are them in this pose with their hands held together. So this might be like some type of magic spell that they're casting, or just something they're doing. With Zelda in the background. Again at the Great Plateau.
Given an opening, he will bear his...
Then we can see Ganon using his powerful gloom. And I mean powerful. It just shreds through that guy. And look at that.
Thanks.
And then it just turns around. And then we can just see all these little pieces of gloom floating around, which is implying that I guess that there are monsters that aren't finished yet because they're created from gloom, so that maybe they're not fully emerged. It looks like that guy has a new weapon that we haven't seen before, and also maybe that guy too. And I don't know where this is. I think this is either somewhere in the Great Plateau or the area in Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild with all those bones. So then we can see that we're really close to Goron City, and we can just see all these lights in this architecture with the giant blood moon. Then we can see in the background the Temple of Time itself and Sonia.
Until Hyrule itself.
Then we can see the smoke plug, and 2 rings. I don't think we've ever seen these second ring before. Then this is the exact stone that we step on in Breath of the Wild. And then it looks like that Death Mountain is bigger, because look at all this. This seems bigger to me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just feel like it might be bigger. Then we can see all the enemies. Then we can see the Sage of Fire and Sage of Wind in the depths, using those combo attacks that I still forgot the name for. We can clearly tell that this is a enemy campsite in the depths with this and this. So the Sage of Fire uses Daruk's protection on the Sage of Wind. Then he uses his bow. Then we can see that we can use Zonite devices in combat, which is going to be hectic and amazing. And it looks like he's somewhere in Hebra, maybe close to Rito Village, I don't know. Then this, I think is gonna be a cutscene tied to another cutscene that we saw or we will see in trailer 3, because they're in the depths. Then we see this whole area in the depths, and then we can see these huge enemy camps in the background. Mass destruction of enemies with their team attack. More Zonite devices being used by Minoru. And, like I said, Rairu making that meme face. Sage of Water, all these enemies. Then we get to see... Like I said, I think this guy got hit by Rairu accidentally, but then he also hit all the enemies, so... Oh well. Oh, and then here, we can see that there's like these things on the ground, and I don't know what these things on the ground are. I guess we'll figure it out when we play the game. But here, we don't just see the strand of light, we can actually see the blade, which is nice. Then she uses her recall attack and just use that snap, just like Vanos, and it's amazing because I accidentally muted it, but
But you sought it from Hyrule.
then we can see the Sage of Lightning, which is fighting Rauru, so I don't know if it's a thing where she's proving herself to be the Sage of Lightning, or she just doesn't want to join Rauru,
Places.
but that's a whole thing. We can
This
see
is
more
madness.
moves. And all of this.
There is danger here. Enormously so.
Now, here's the thing I'm gonna question about. Get ready. So this is the depths. There's the glowing light. Now I'm gonna pause it. Look, look, look. That's the mask. That mask has eyes, and those eyes are non-existent because it's just a black pale thing. Look, you can see that the eyes are black and pale, but then apparently the actual one has eyes that are in the same shape because that orange/yellow is in the same shape as this, but then it's just black. We don't actually see this, so that doesn't make sense because it just looks hollow. But oh well. And that's the end of the second one. And let's move on to the third one, which we can see the thumbnail has all the sages lined up together. I don't know where. I would suspect the ancient/forgotten temple with the way the architecture looks. And let's get right in. Yep, told you. We would see Ganon again. Here he is. And then this time, oh my gosh, what is that? Whoa, okay, we need to rewind. Okay, we can see Ganon using Gloom, which, my gosh, looks destructive. Gloom hands. Then, WTF is this? Because it looks like it has the hair of Ganon, has a malice eye, but then it looks like I don't know what this is. Then we can see enemies covered in gloom, just like we did in Age of Calamity. We had those enemies covered in malice, they're covered in gloom, just like they were in the Depths and Tears of the Kingdom, and so on. Then we can, okay, rewind. Oh, this is going too fast. We can see him using an ability. Oh my gosh, what is that? Okay, we can see her actual blade now. We can see this gorgeous cutscene. Look how gorgeous this is. I don't know where it is, but we can see this gorgeous cutscene of Rauru, the Sage of Fire, and Minoru at least. There's probably more fighting somewhere. Then here's all of them lined up at the Forgotten Temple. Then here's that clap where they do the team up attack. And that's that right there. Now what is that? What is that? What in the world? Is it like supposed to be a version of Water by Ganon? Because Look, we can see right here, but whatever the hell this thing is, it's using the same stones as the Fire Temple boss did, which is marbled Goma, but then it just has a Malasai, these horns, and then Ganon's flame, but also has all this, and it looks like a whole new creature, and it looks like a ancient version of like Fire by Ganon or something, and it just looks so cool, but also terrifying. Like, what in the world? We can just see all this smoke, and then it looks like they're right by the mushroom, because we can see a mushroom in the background. And it looks like that each sage has to fight one, because the Sage of Fire is fighting the fire one, and then if we go back, we can see the Sage of Water fighting hers. So that means that we probably have to do all these different fights. What in the... Is this a team-up attack? Because Zelda is summoning a royal broadsword of light. Holy heck, that looks like an OP attack and clean. And then she just does a spiral. Then looks like that's a team attack. And she's using the Bow of Light, which we haven't seen from Breath of the Wild, so that's going to be interesting. We can also see Gyptos, so that's going to be a return from Tears of the Kingdom. And then we can see Minoru and Zelda doing a team attack, or at least working together. Then we can see the actual location of the original Hyrule Castle, which very high, but also very beautiful.
After traveling back in time, Princess Zelda meets the first king of Hyrule, Rauru, and the queen, Sonia.
Yep.
She joins them to take on Demon King Ganondorf in a conflict that will come to be known as the Imprisoning War. Take on
Look at how clean this is. You can see Zonai devices. It looks like health. I don't know what that is. Navigation. You can see how many, all their health. You can see their objective, and then their little updated pinpoints. The map. You can see how they use Switch. You can even see the way they attack, which I think this is just for the video, because I don't think the game would actually do this. And then you also have their battery usage.
of enemies as you
Just
fight
look at how clean that all looks.
alongside your ally.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is he using a Zonai whip? Oh, God.
Like this brave Korok.
I need to know this Korok's name. This is an OP. Everyone hated Koroks in Tears of the Kingdom. Some even in Breath of the Wild. But this Korok is OP. Look, he's just throwing elemental fruits like it's nothing, and then just absolutely doing elemental damage to them.
Your allies' abilities
using
so you know which character to swap
things.
to in any
Then
situation.
water. Ooh.
Zonai devices can bring water, wind, and other effects to combat.
Just look at the... It's not just wind, but you can also see the green. That just makes it more appealing.
Make
Oh my
strategic use of
gosh.
them to counter
Oh, look at the Gyptos.
your enemies.
And then it looks like she's using wind. It grabs the Gyptos. And look at that one. That one looks deformed and petrified.
alter
And then she
flow
uses
of
her light. And then... Or, no, not light. She uses a thunder... Or lightning head. And then the lightning and the wind creates a lightning gas.
pair up with
Oh, I'm gonna be using the heck out of that. Oh, look at that. That's some nice rainbow aesthetic.
nearby allies to unleash mighty
And then this is where we, people thought that Sonia won't be a playable character, but with this trailer, it is confirmed that she's a playable character because we see her have a bow and she has the power of time.
sync strikes.
And then she's using both of them together to make massive strike.
Depending on
Oh, it's called a mighty sync strike.
the pair, sync strikes
So it's
deal
just a
high
sync strike.
damage
Ooh.
or have a variety of other effects.
Oh my,
Invite a friend.
Jesus. Bro, these
Or
sync
have a
attacks,
variety of other
bro,
effects.
crazy.
Invite
Those
a
are
friend.
just masterpiece. Those are,
And to fight alongside you in split-screen co-op. And with Game Share, you can play together on 2 separate systems, even if only one player has the game.
delicious. And then this is where we see this gloom coming out of nowhere. Then it starts sprouting. Then we see this random, I'm not gonna be offensive, but Hylian. Then we see Zelda, Minoru, and Raru, and it looks like there's just a pile of gloom behind it.
Uncover.
Then, like I said, so in the second trailer when Minoru, was walking in the depths, I wonder if, or what I think is that it's either them walking to wake up that mysterious Zonai construct, but I don't think that would be it because Zelda looks confused, but still might be. And I think that them walking in the depths could just be this and whatever Minoru's doing here. But I just realized that she has like, I don't know if that's a real arm. Yeah, that's a that's her real arm holding a Zonai flashlight. Jesus.
Ancient
And then, even though this thing is broken, it still works and then just grants her a no entry
truths
sign.
that were only glimpsed in The Legend of
And then we see the mysterious construct
Zelda.
fly, dodge a Gleeok, which, oh, we can see the Sky Islands too. And look at that beautiful wing
To the
design. And
kingdom.
just look at that. Look at that. So clean. And then Zelda looks like she doesn't know who this person is, or just surprised that he came or something. But then look, he just has his wings. But then the thing is, he has no clothes on right now. But then watch, then he somehow uses Zonai abilities to just snap his clothes on, which I don't know how that would be possible, but this person is falling.
Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, launches on Nintendo Switch 2, November 6th.
Yeah! Available November 6th. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. But this thing, whatever it is, watch, it has hair. It has hair that is very similar to Link's hair, and a hood that looks like Link's hood in Tears of a Kingdom. But then they're saying it's a canonical tale, so that means it shouldn't be Link, but it looks like Link. So, I don't know who this person is. It definitely looks like Link with the hair and then this hood. But then it could also very well be just a new person we don't know yet. And we're just figuring it out when we play the game. And first of all, me saying that it was the ancient hero was very wrong. But the only reason why I said that is because, again, if you look, this thing has pale eyes, and those pale big eyes reminded me of the ancient hero. Like, this looks like the ancient hero, but this has hair, and it doesn't look like the ancient hero. So I have no idea who this is. So I have some theories that wild guess is it could be Link, but here, let's search up and see who is the mysterious construct in Zelda Age of Imprisonment. Don't mind my spelling. The mysterious construct in Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is a Link-like Zonai construct. I told you, it looks like Link. So it's either Link or an ancient Link, or maybe the consciousness of the ancient hero, but I don't know at this point, because this is what people thought. This is what people actually know now. So it's wild. It's just wild. He looks so cool. First of all, how is the construct having hair? Second of all, who is he? And can he be an amiibo? Like, he would definitely be a cool amiibo. This Korok as well. This Korok would be perfect for an amiibo. And so is that. Like, that would be a perfect amiibo. Like, all of these figures have their perfect poses for being amiibos. And just look at all this. All of this. See this? I don't know what these blue rings mean. I think that was supposed to be the sync attack. But yeah, that's just wild. This is a different game, so don't mind that. But this is just wild. It is crazy. A Link-like Zonai construct serving as a new legendary hero character in the game. It has multiple forms, with an aerial flying form and a humanoid form similar to Link. Ahem! Wearing a tunic and toga, the construct has shown in the game's trailers and approaches on its box art. Exactly. Key characteristics: Zonai origin. It is a construct built by the ancient Zonai, a civilization from which Hyrule and Minoru descended. Link-like appearance. The humanoid form closely resembles Link, leading to speculation that it may be a way to include a Link-like character in the story without breaking established lore. Could be, actually. Multiple forms. The construct can take on different forms, including a aerial wing-equipped form or for flight, which hints at potential aerial combat systems in the game. Zonai attire. In its humanoid form, it wears a toga similar to the Zonai seen in Tears of the Kingdom. Wow. Well, I think that's it for now, guys. But wow, I am really, really liking this trailer. Like, this one, I thought it was okay. This one, I thought was better. But this one, masterpiece. And I think that's pretty much all for now. If you guys have any video recommendations for me, you can put it down in the comments below, because I love being a YouTuber, but sometimes it is hard for me coming up with video ideas. So just make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and hit that notification bell if anyone still does. And I think that's it for today's video, and just make sure to stay cosmic.